Leo, what's going on? It's Chris Anthony coming at you guys live and direct once again, and this is going to be your reading from January 22nd to the 31st. So definitely, Leo, this is a late reading. Sorry that this is so late and you guys are kind of like on the back burner. Just been having a lot going on this month, and the energies have been very heavy. The readings have been very heavy lately. So it's been taking a lot of time for me just to rejuvenate. I can't knock them out as quick as I usually can. So sorry, this is just coming to you guys, Leo, but we're going to get into it and then hopefully give you some clarity and your forecast for ending out January, right? This is a general reading, so it may not resonate with everyone. If it doesn't resonate with you, you can catch me on one of my previous readings for Leo or one of the future ones that I'll be doing for February. If it does resonate with you, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things will let me know that you're watching and it helps you out in some type of way. Also, I have personal readings that is open to all of the zodiac. So if you want to check in with a personal reading and get a more direct experience with me, you can email me. That'll be in the description below. Also, my Instagram is up. So if you guys want to check me out on Instagram, that is also in the description. All right, so let's get into it. This is going to be your present energy, Leo, that we're starting off with. And then after that, we're going to get into your futuristic energies over here like we always do it. And that'll be talking about your closing out for January and then going into February, right? So starting off, crowning your reading, Leo, we have the Nine of Swords. So at the moment, you guys could just be feeling a little bit of anxiety. You could be feeling maybe some painstaking thoughts that are happening in your head right now. Maybe you're trying to figure out some things and it's causing you to kind of like be confused a little bit, or just kind of like, you know, anxious about your future, where you're headed, you know, or things coming together. Worried a little bit. This is the card of being worrisome, being stressed out, you know, not knowing how everything is going to come together and just kind of being worried about it. So the good thing though is that this card is just having to do with your thoughts. So a lot of times the things that go on our head, we kind of blow them up a lot more than they really are in reality, you know, because the mind has that great ability, you know, to kind of blow things out of proportion and make some things that are very small seem gigantic, right? So you could be at the place right now where you're kind of stressed out about things happening in your world or in your life, and you're kind of blowing it up a little bit, and it's causing you to be, you know, worried or stressed or anxious, lay awake at nighttime, not be able to get good sleep, you know, walk around with kind of a burden just because you feel like some things are not working out the way that you feel they should be working out. But it's clarified by the World card here, so that lets me know that you could be worried about something that is coming into fruition, something that is being birthed out, you know, within you internally, spiritually, something, you know, that's coming into existence. And it could have been building up within you for a while. You know, it could have been something that has been happening behind the scenes, happening in the dark, something that has been developing within you, developing within your mind, within your spirit. And, you know, it talks a little bit of a transformation. The World card represents a cycle that is ending and a new cycle that is beginning, which is why in this card deck, which is the Gustav Klimt deck, you know, that I'm clarifying with, you have the woman that is pregnant, you know, and she looks like she is at her last trimester. She's probably right at 8 or 9 months, right at 9 months, ready to give birth. And this is where you guys are at right now. You're ready to give birth to something, and it could be a new you, right? It could be, because in a lot of readings that's been going on lately with the other signs, it's been talking about a transformation. It's been talking about just a new way of being. And I think the same thing is happening with you, Leo. You're birthing out a new way of being, a new way of looking at the world, of carrying yourself, of dealing with other people, of dealing with yourself. A new level of self-love, you know, a new level of self-introspection, of self-awareness, right? And I think because you're having this take place within your world or within your life, it could be stressing you out a little bit. I also feel like you're having a combination that's happening. You know, your conscious mind could be combining with your self-conscious mind, or your inner world could be combining with your outer world, right? It's like an alchemy thing that's happening. It's a amalgamation. And it's crazy because that was like one of my words that I had on my for my vocabulary on Instagram today. So you guys check out that Instagram page, Chris Anthony 14 pounds. But so I feel like it's a combination that's happening with you, you know, because the world card represents that. It represents kind of like a culmination of things coming into effect that has been like being stirred up for a while, that has been kind of like bubbling beneath the surface for a while. And now it's popping its head out, you know. It's like the baby's head is now being seen and it's coming into, you know, new life. And so what does the baby do? You know, the first thing they do when they come out of the womb is they cry, right? And that's what's happening with you. It seems like you're embarking on a new plateau, a new journey, a new place of being, a new way of being. And it could have you stressed out a little bit because it's brand new to you. It's brand new territory. So you could be crying like a baby would cry when they first come out of the womb, because now your whole world and your environment is being shifted, being changed. You know, when a baby is inside of the womb, they get comfortable with that environment for those 9 months. Like they get comfortable with being in darkness, you know, with having to breathe through the umbilical cord, with having to eat all of their nutrients through the umbilical cord, and being within another person, you know, inside of that shell of their mother, right? But when they come out, they get introduced to a whole nother environment, a whole nother world. Like they feel the wind, they feel the air, you know, they feel the temperature change. Now they have to breathe with their lungs, you know. Now they see the light that kind of hits them. And it's kind of like a shock. And that's what could be happening with you guys. You could be having just a little bit of a shock, because now you're at the stage of completing a transformation. Let's keep it moving. I don't want to get stuck on that card too much. We're 7 minutes in. So 10 of Cups. You know, so this is speaking about emotional fulfillment. The 10 of Cups represents you having everything that you want out of life. It represents the vision that you have for your life that brings you emotional fulfillment. The things that you believe will emotionally fulfill you. Like, you know, we all have that talk with ourselves when we kind of say, like, if I could just have this career and this job, you know, and be with this person in a romantic relationship, and if I could, you know, live in this place or this city, or be able to travel, you know, or be able to see this show, or, you know, it's like this is that vision that you have for your life that brings you emotional fulfillment. And so you could be having that on your mind right now. This is what you could be reflecting about at the moment. You know, and this is why the transformation is taking place. This is what's being birthed out into your new world, because before we can have the external lifestyle that brings us harmony, that brings us happiness and emotional fulfillment, we have to transform our inner world, right? Our inner world is directly mirrored by our external world. So until we work on that, we can't have that emotional fulfillment in our external world, right? That's what the law of attraction speaks about. But you have been working on that, Leo. And you've actually been, you know, in the process of birthing that out, in the process of doing all that inner work so that, you know, it can be reflected in your external world. And that's what, you know, that's why you're kind of worried a little bit, because now the shifting is occurring. The shift is happening to where you can get to the place of being able to reflect that externally, and those external things are going to start being attracted into your life now that you have been doing this internal work. But before that happens, it is like a little shift, a paradigm shift that happens, and it makes you feel a little bit worried, like, whoa, 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 what's going on? Things are changing, right? So, you know, those things are changing, and it's causing you to reflect a little bit about what is actually going to make you happy. Because a lot of times when your internal world shifts in this way, when you do the internal work, when you build yourself up internally and invest in yourself, and you start to show yourself that self-love and that self-care, you'll start to see that the things that you thought would make you happy externally, they don't cut it anymore, right? It's like Because before we do the internal work, we think that the things externally will make us happy because we're trying to fill, you know, the inner voids that we have with external things. But after you do that internal work and that you practice self-love and self-care, you start to see that you have a new vision for the things that will emotionally fulfill you. And I think that's what's happening with you right now. That shift is occurring within you internally. You know, it's bringing about a whole new world within you internally. And that's going to cause you to start looking at the world externally from a different set of eyes. And you're going to start to want to pursue different things that will bring you emotional fulfillment. You want to start hanging around different people that will actually, you know, bring you emotional fulfillment, or pursuing different type of relationships. So it is a transformation that's happening with you. Right over here we have the 5 of Cups, and then it's clarified by the 10 of Cups. So in the past you could have been disappointed, right, with the emotional fulfillment that you were going after. It could have brought you a lot of disappointment, like things didn't work out in the past. Maybe in 2018 it wasn't a year that you hoped for. You know, you probably were trying to pursue something emotionally. It could have been with a person. It could have been, you know, with a job or with a project or anything that you thought would have brought you emotional fulfillment, but it just didn't work out. So the 5 of Cups is kind of like us crying over spilled milk a little bit, you know, thinking about the past and how things didn't work out, and kind of not being able to move on, you know, until we deal with facing the fact that those things did not happen. This relationship didn't work out. This person didn't love me the way that I thought they were going to love me. You know, I didn't achieve the things that I thought I would have achieved last year or the years before. And, you know, the 5 of Cups is just a card about us being a little bummed out a little bit. Like, gosh, nothing works out for me. Nothing ever happens for me. Nothing lines up the way that I wanted to line up. Why does this keep happening to me? Right? Us crying a little bit on the inside. It's clarified by the 10 of Cups, though. So I think you're moving on past that place of just being stuck a little bit and crying over spilled milk, crying about the past, crying over those 3 cups that didn't work out, and you're gonna start to turn around and look at the 2 of Cups that you got from out of this situation, right? And you're gonna start to change the things that will actually emotionally fulfill you, like I was talking about in this card. You're doing some reflection, you know, and some of that reflection has to do with looking at the past and seeing what didn't work out and why it didn't work out, you know, and that's going to make you change up your perspective a little bit. You're changing the things that will bring you emotional fulfillment. You're starting to learn something about yourself, right? And it was a lesson that was taught by the universe, a lesson that could have been taught through disappointment, through not receiving something that you hoped for, right? Only to bring you to the place of self-love, though. Only to bring you to the place of being able to realize that you're supposed to give that to yourself. And once you give that to yourself, then you will attract the thing that you were seeking. But a lot of times we do it backwards, right? A lot of times we go out and seek the things externally to fill a void internally that only we can fill within ourselves. Only we can offer ourselves that level of love that we look for other people to fulfill or other things to fulfill. But when we don't get it, it teaches us a very valuable lesson that we can't look for that from other people. We have to fulfill it within ourselves first. And then once we fulfill that within ourselves, we start to attract externally the things that we wanted in the beginning, right? But we attract it from a better energy, a more healthy energy, right? Not a toxic way of attracting things. We attract it from a more fulfilled position, a more powerful position. So then we don't give our power away to other people, right? We keep our power because we already are fulfilled within ourselves. So anything we attract now is just adding on to what we already have, right? It's icing on the cake. And now we can attract those 50-50 relationships where both people are winning, not you losing and somebody else winning because you have to give your power away because you need them to fulfill a void within yourself that you're not fulfilling yourself. You follow me? So that's the transformation that's going on with you, Leo. And it's a great transformation, you know? this full moon or this lunar eclipse is kind of like shining some light on some things also, and making you realize that about yourself, right? Let's keep it moving. We have the Five of Swords. So you could have had a Five of Swords moment with somebody, right? Maybe someone from the past, or maybe somebody recently. The Five of Swords represents you being in some type of dispute, some type of argument with somebody or with a group of people, to where nobody really wins. You know, somebody thinks they've won, but they've did it in a dishonorable way. They did it in a way where really they lose too. So you could have had some type of experience with someone. You know, this could have been a love relationship, romantic attraction that you had with somebody that maybe both of y'all, you know, just weren't seeing eye to eye. Both of you guys weren't able to balance the relationship, because the Two of Pentacles talks about balancing and not being able to, you know, bring it to a level of balancing. The Two of Pentacles is talking about juggling, right? Juggling two different options, but not really being able to come into perfect balance, because everything is always going up and then going down and then going up and going down and just juggling. So that could have been what was happening with you in the past, or presently with a person, and maybe you guys decided to walk away from each other and nobody really won. I keep hearing that song that Jay-Z had. I think he talks about, it's a song that says something about nobody wins when the family feuds. You know, and the whole song he's talking about how him and Beyonce, or him and his wife, were not getting along, you know, and feuding a little bit, and how they were both trying to win. One person was trying to one up the other person. One person was trying to get the point of view across to the other person, you know, but at the end, nobody really won because they were feuding. The family couldn't really win. They couldn't build anything on this foundation because they were feuding and going back and forth, and one person was trying to win over the other person. And so at the end of the day, nothing got accomplished. And so he was saying, you know, nobody wins when the family feuds, like, because it's pointless. And that's what could have been going on in the past with you and somebody else. Maybe could have been an air sign that you could have been dealing with, or an earth sign. And, you know, it could have been any sign, but those are just the ones that stick out with the cards. So you were trying to find balance. I think you're still trying to find balance within that. You're still trying to figure out how you can, or during this time, you could have been trying to figure out how you wanted to give into yourself and give into this person at the same time, and trying to find balance between two, you know. Or this could have been a third party situation, because I see 3 in all of these cards. This card has 3 people in it. This card has 3 people in it. So maybe you could have been, you know, caught up in a third party situation where one person was trying to give into you and give into somebody else, or you were trying to give into one person and give into somebody else at the same time. Or it could have just been, it could have felt like a third party situation because you or the other person could have been trying to juggle, you know, giving into you and then giving into the career or the job, you know, or you giving into this person but also having to give into yourself at the same time. And, you know, you weren't finding a balance to it. That's why we were talking about what we were talking about over here with finding that self-care, that self-love, to bring you a level of balance, a new level of emotional fulfillment within yourself before you go looking to fulfill that externally through someone else. All right, so let's keep it moving. Underlying energies, you had the Sun card, though. So the universe is shining down on you at this time, and I think it's because you're birthing out a new way of being, a new level of perspective, right? You have learned some things in the past, and some of the things that you've learned, you haven't even been consciously trying to learn, right? A lot of it, I believe, has been going on subconscious, because when I see this World card, that's what I'm feeling like. A lot of things were happening underneath the surface, you know, and so you were being taught a lot of lessons, and you didn't even know why you were being taught these lessons. You don't even know why you were having this level of disappointment, and you were just like, what in the world is going on? Like, why does this keep happening to me? You know, but the universe is trying to let you know, like, you know, it's cool, right? All that happened for a reason. You learned these lessons for a reason, because now you're moving into a new level of being, you know. You have kind of like upgraded, right? And so I believe that for you guys, the lunar eclipse, you know, could have brought in the completion of that upgrade. And you're going to start to feel this finishing out the month of January, going into February, especially going into February, where you feel like you have been upgraded a little bit. Like the DNA light codes have came all the way in and they have opened up some things that were locked down inside of your DNA, right? And now you're going to start to move and maneuver through life in a different type of way, because now you have more things to use at your disposal. You know, so the sun card is coming in and bringing you sunshine into your life. You're going to come out of that place of feeling like you're in darkness and nothing is working out. You know, it's like this is you coming out of the womb, you know, being birthed out a little bit. And then you get to a place where you're totally out of darkness into that sunshine, right? Look at this, the little child right here. Like, this is how you're coming out, like butt naked, right? But you're coming out as a totally new person because you went through the whole birth canal, you know, that birthing process that happens spiritually, happens in your subconscious mind, it happens with the universal energies. And you don't know exactly what's going on a lot of times. Like during this process, you're just in darkness as to what's happening really. And all you can see are the things that's happening in your external world. Like, why does this keep happening? Why does this person turn their back on me? Why was I mixed up in a third party situation? Why don't I never, you know, get the relationship that I want? Why don't I ever get the job that I want? Why do I keep being turned down? Why? Right? That's all you can see. But the things that's happening underneath the surface in your subconscious mind is the thing that will change your life forever. You know, but those things have to come and carve on you and shape you externally in order for you to have this rebirth and transformation internally in your subconscious mind. Right? So, yeah, that's what I'm feeling. So then you have the 10 of Pentacles. So this whole transformation was happening so that you can get to that place of 10 of Pentacles and 10 of Cups, because you have the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles, which represents your material wealth, right? So this transformation was also for your material wealth as well as your emotional wealth and fulfillment. This is your material wealth. So the sun is shining on your material wealth, your finances, you know, the way you go about getting your coins, the way you attract your coins into your life, that is also changing for you. You're getting a new level of perspective when it comes down to what you want to do financially. Some of you guys may be tapping into some other streams of income, maybe wanting to start to get some multiple streams of income, right? You may want to begin again on a new job or career. You may want to start a business at this time, or just start something on the side that brings you in more income. And you're getting that get up about yourself to go after it and pursue it, you know. And this year it could be growing quite quickly for you because you're having such a shift within your mind and within your emotional being and spiritual being, right? Because you're birthing out this new way of being. So that's going to directly affect your finances, your financial world, and also directly affect your emotional world. So good job, Leo. Definitely, let's keep it moving. We have this is your future energy, by the way. So we have the 10 of Wands, we have the 5 of Wands, we have the Judgment card, and then we have the 7 of Swords. So starting up top, 10 of Wands talks about completing a cycle, completing a karmic cycle where you had to do a lot of painstaking work. You had to carry a lot of burdens, where it felt like you were carrying the weight of the world on your shoulder, right? Hold on, this music is loud. Yeah, so it felt like you could have been carrying the weight of the world on your shoulder for this past period that you've been in, and it could have been a period of 10 years or 10 months, you know, or it could have just been the last couple of years. But however long it was, it felt like you were just in a place where you just had to carry the load on your back. Like, what is going on? Right? But like I was saying before, this was only because you were creating a monster within yourself. Like, you were building up a level of fortitude and fortification internally that is going to be directly reflected in your external world. But first you had to kind of go through shit in your external world so that it could directly affect your internal world. This is how this works, right? This is how this process of alchemy works, this process of ascension, the process of this spiritual journey, this transformation that we all are a part of and you were awakened to. You know, this is how it works. This is why you start to see, you know, those numbers 1111 and 111 and 222 and 333, because it's trying to let you know you're inside of a process, you're inside of an incubation chamber, and you're being worked on. You know, so maybe you didn't understand everything, but you were inside of this hyperbolic chamber and you were being upgraded. I talk about the hyperbolic chamber a lot because that was on a cartoon when I was younger called Dragon Ball Z. And Goku was the main character in this cartoon, and all of the characters in this cartoon were able to level up because they were Saiyans, and Saiyans were a group of people that were able to level up to Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3, and they could continue to level up their amount of power that they had by training. So Goku wanted to be like the one that could level up the most out of everybody, and he worked the hardest. And what he trained in at one point was the hyperbolic chamber. Now, the hyperbolic chamber was located on a space shuttle or spaceship. And while he was traveling to one planet at one time, he got into this hyperbolic chamber. And what the hyperbolic chamber did was it increased the level of gravity inside of the chamber or on the whole ship that he was on. So he would turn the level of gravity all the way up and then train underneath this level of gravity, which would cause him to, you know, gain a whole nother level of muscles, so that when he was placed on a planet that had a regular amount of gravity, he would just be a beast, right? So that's what you have been placed under, Leo, in the past. A karmic cycle that has been working out your karma, working out your leveling up at the end of the day. And so you didn't understand it, but you were placed under a high level of gravitation, a high level of, you know, transformative effect, so that you could level up quicker, right? And so you have the 10 of Wands 2 times, so you could have been going through a double level of bullshit. Excuse my French. But that's what it is. That's what you go through in order to level up. And so you're definitely coming out of this mode because you're at the 10. The 10 it marks that completion. And now you're being birthed out into a new dimension. You know, this is all vocabulary just coming out. So the words do have meaning, but I'm just kind of saying it symbolically, right? You're birthing out to another level of being, right? So where you're going to be carrying yourself a little bit differently than you were in the past. And now you have a heavier weight to you, right? A weightiness about your presence. That's what I'm picking up. So some things are going to be attracted to you because you step in a room and people can feel your weight because they can see your stripes. And you get recognition from the universe and from the energies that are located inside of the matrix when you go through this level of training. Right? So people subconsciously are just going to be drawn to you. You're just going to attract a level of awareness, a level of recognition from the people that are around you because you have earned your stripes during this training that you've been through these last couple of years or this last cycle that you were in. You know, and now it's falling off that burden because now you've been pushed into a new way of being, a new world, a new cycle. Now we have the five of wands here. So this represents like petty arguments with people. But the way I see this, because it is being clarified by the Queen of Wands here, you are taking on that energy of the Queen of Wands, where you are the social butterfly, right? You are the great collaborator. You can collaborate with other people like no one else can to get projects done, to get things accomplished in your life, to get your passionate pursuits, you know, completed. And so you are going to be the person within your life at the moment, going into the future, that will walk into the room of these people who have arguments, you know, people who can't get along, people who, you know, just can't see eye to eye. And you're possessing the amount of power to deal with it. You know, so if you're working inside of a team at this moment, having to do teamwork at your job or in your career or just in life in general, you're going to start to be the person that is going to be able to work the room, right? Play off the energies of other people in order to complete the task at hand. And you're just doing it just easily. Like, you don't even have to consciously do this. It's just who you are as a Leo, right? You just walk in a room and you have a conversation with one person, and then you move on to the next person and switch the whole conversation up, and you're able to connect with them on their level of understanding and their energy, and then go to a next person with a whole completely different energy and vibe with them. But at the same time, you are working on an overall goal within this group of people or within this room, right? So yeah, some of you guys will see what I'm talking about coming up in February. Then we have the Judgment card. So the Judgment card represents a time where you're having that awakening. This is just what I'm talking about. This whole transformation is taking place. But towards the end of January and the beginning of February, you're going to start to see it. Like, you're going to start to kind of like realize the effects of your level up, right? And be like, oh wow, I did not know I can do that. Wow, where did this come from? Oh wow, right? So some of the things that maybe you struggled with in the past personally are kind of going to start to be dropped off during this moment in time, because you're waking up out of that cocoon. You're coming out of that hyperbolic chamber, and the doors are opening up, and you're like, okay, now let's see how it feels to operate on a regular level of gravity, and let's see how much I've leveled up and how much I can do with how much I learned when I was underneath that immense amount of pressure, right? Because you have the Four of Wands here that's clarifying the Judgment card. So that could be representing just major milestones and achievements that you have your eyes set on, that you're going to be completing this year, and that you're working towards. And you have a new level of operations, a new arsenal that you can tap into to complete these things. You know, also this could be concerning, you know, what you want out of a relationship, and you having another level of awakening when it comes down to your view of relationships, especially romantic relationships, and how you're going to bring stability into your next relationship or your current relationship, how you're going to bring balance into it, you know, and you're starting to view the people that you need to work with, the people that you need to collaborate with. As the Queen of Wands, you're having like another sense when it comes down to you know, the people that you can have a relationship with, and the people that just don't match your vibe. You know, you're viewing it a lot differently going into February. Right below that, we have the Seven of Swords. So Seven of Swords usually can represent some type of sneakiness that's going on, some type of underhandedness that could be going on. And I really don't feel like it's anybody that's doing this to you in the month of February, or going into February, closing out January. I kind of feel like you are doing some things beneath the radar, because you're feeling like you have to move in a certain way to get some things accomplished without everybody knowing your business, right? So this is kind of not letting the left hand know what the right hand is doing. You know, so not that you're being sneaky at the time, but you could just be wanting to accomplish some goals without everybody knowing your business and letting people know exactly what you're doing. You're just working on some things behind the scenes, because you have learned from the past. And you have learned, like, when you let everybody know what you're doing, sometimes it can affect what you do negatively, because some people could just hate and want to send negative energy your way, right? like this. But you're the Queen of Wands now, and you know exactly how to deal with people. And some people, you're just going to hide things from them and not let them know. And it's not lying to them, it's just like not giving up information. You're going to learn, you know, who to give information to and who to withhold information from. This is why you have the Six of Pentacles that is here, and it's clarifying the Seven of Wands, because, I mean, the Seven of Swords, you're going to be withholding information from some people. And you need to, because some people don't need to know everything that's going on in your life. And other people you are going to reveal some things to, but it's going to be people who can be instrumental in investing into what you're trying to build. And some people who can give you some good advice and give you another point of view and let you know, like, hey, yeah, okay, you're doing that. Maybe you want to look into this. That can help you out. People who can give you constructive criticism. But other people who you know are not those type of people, you are not going to let them know what you're working on and building on behind the scenes. You're just going to look at them and be like, hey, how you doing? Having a good day? All right. Keep it moving and get right back to work. Right? So yeah, Leo, great energy I'm feeling for you. Like, I'm going to end the reading off right there. I think it's going to be a great year for you guys, definitely. Once again, sorry about this reading being so late, but I think it came right on time for you guys. I think this reading had to come after that lunar eclipse, because there was a lot of different energies that was happening with us all. And now some things are becoming more clear. So I was able to kind of read for you guys at this time. Like I always say, if you like that, like, share, subscribe, comment on the channel, and let me know, you know, that you liked it. That helps me out, you know, with moving forward in the channel. Also, if you want to get a more direct reading with me, you can check me out on a personal reading. And also, check out my Instagram. I'm trying to grow that. And I want you guys to be connected to that, because it's going to be another take on this journey that we're on. Because tarot is one thing, but the rest of life is a different thing, right? So check me out there, Chris Anthony, 14 pounds. That's 14 LBS. And until next time, I am out.